Hello everyone! This will be a tutorial on how to make a graph of a function in MATLAB, plus a few other basics. In case you just stumbled onto this video and have no idea what MATLAB is, it is a very powerful application that can perform many types of calculations. If you are interested in the areas of data analysis, signal and image processing, control systems, wireless communications, and or robotics, you can get a ton of use out of mastering this software. And you can take your first steps towards that goal today through following this tutorial. First, make sure you have a copy of MATLAB so you can follow along with me at home. You can purchase a license at MathWorks' website. I'll leave a link to it in the description of this video. If you are a college student, you're going to want to click this student button over here. I would first check with your university to see if you can get a MATLAB license for free. Otherwise, you should purchase MATLAB and Simulink Student Suite. Discussing Simulink is beyond the scope of this video, but you guys should look more into it into your own time, because chances are if you're using MATLAB for your course, you're going to be asked to use Simulink in the future. Alright, once you have a copy of MATLAB installed on your device, I want you to open it and take in what you see. What's on the screen before you is the command window, where you can type commands for MATLAB to perform. This is the primary space in which we will interact with the program. Now, let's get to work. The first step in creating a function graph is to actually store the function in MATLAB. But how will we do this? Well, when we think about what our functions are comprised of, it's usually the input variables, and then there's the output variable, which derives its value from an equation that modifies the input values. So, to create a function in MATLAB, we must type an equation and assign it to an output variable. And this is actually pretty intuitive. It's really easy to assign values to variables in MATLAB. All we have to do is to type the name of the variable we wish to assign a value to, and then we set it equal to something else. Try it yourself. Type the variable x and use the equal sign on your keyboard to assign a value to it. Now, typically, functions are going to be more complex than this. I mean, it doesn't have to be. You can just create a constant function, but that's boring, and I fail to see why anyone would need a graph for that. We want to have MATLAB compute operations that modify our input. So let's learn about how you can make MATLAB perform calculations in the command window. You can add values together by using the plus sign on your keyboard. You can use dash for subtraction, like this. Asterisk is used for multiplication. And you use / for division. Now, the order of the numbers here is important for division. The numerator is going to be typed before the slash, and the denominator is going to be typed afterwards. We also have trigonometric functions available. Sine, cosine, and tangent are all in play here. And if we want to use the inverse of these functions, all we have to do is type a before the function name, like a cos for arc cosine, a sine for arc sine, and so on. If we want to make an exponential function, e to the power of something, all we would have to do is type exp for exponent, e to the power of something, over the value we wish to assign as the power for e. Now that we have gotten that out of the way, let's create an equation that modifies the value you assign to x and attach this new value to the variable y. I'm just going to use y equals 6 times x plus 7. Please note that you must use the asterisk to multiply a variable by a constant. You cannot just type them together like how you would typically write an equation. Once you finish and press enter, y should output a number. Congrats, we now have the function logged in MATLAB. All we need to do now is to plot the function with the command I am typing on screen. The variable with the values used in the x-axis should be typed first, and the y-axis variable should be typed second. Press enter and the graphics window will open to display our figure. Uh-oh. That's not very useful. You can't even see anything. So what happened? Well, we can figure that out if we type a comma in the plot function after our y variable. And we just put an O between quotation marks here. This last section changes how our points are displayed on a figure. If we choose not to fill it, we usually just produce a line graph. All right, so let's see what happens when we enter this. Okay, it's a lot more visible now. We just made a point. So how do we make this graph look like a line? Well, we need to have multiple x values, of course. We can achieve this through MATLAB's linspace function. This function works by creating an array of values between starting and ending points. Now, the proper syntax for this is to start with your starting value, then type your ending value, and then type the number of evenly spaced generated points you want in between those values. And we are going to map this to our x variable. Great. Now the command window has been polluted by a ton of x values. This is the result of a little quirk of MATLAB where the program echo prints the value you assign to a variable to confirm your command. This can be suppressed by typing a semicolon after defining a variable. Let's try defining, oh my gosh, let's try defining y again, this time with a semicolon, and see what happens. Look, nothing else was dumped onto the command window. In practice, people pretty much always use a semicolon after each assignment of a variable's value, usually to prevent cases such as the one you just witnessed. Now let's plot x and y again to see what the graph looks like. We have a line! Now you have learned how to make a function graph in MATLAB. Be sure to let me know if this video has helped you out in the comments section. And if you have more questions, MathWorks has a forum that covers all aspects of MATLAB. You'll be sure to find answers there. I'll have a link to that forum in the description as well. Bye!